AIDS! 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 What's going on with you? My name is Kyrie, if you don't know. I am a Gormagala VTuber. Today is a little bit different from the usual content I make. I'm sure you've heard that in my previous videos before. So I reacted to a video by Chris Blue recently about the biggest lolcow in the Dragon Ball community. Alright, this guy was hands down a predator, always just Xenoverse 2's biggest glazer. He was always hating any, criticisms of Xenoverse or any new games that would come out, for example, Sparking Zero, and currently Xenoverse 3. There's a lot more to go on, but I will keep that for actual Dragon Ball creators like Afro Sentai, Chris Blue himself and such. And for context, I'm not a Dragon Ball creator, but I've been around the Twitter RP scene, and I've also, grown up with Dragon Ball. It's not the core part of my community, obviously. I'm a Gormagala, so Monster Hunter is kind of where my community sits. But, this person, is just so heinous and predatory. You can find hundreds of videos on him. But the issue that I have is that he has been abusing the copyright system for literal years. Whenever somebody gives some pushback, he forcibly takes the video down. And that's what happened to Chris Blue here, and I had to actually private my reaction to Chris's video because of it. So today I have an interview with Chris Blue. Now, I do want to make note, I did not realize my mic was muted on Streamlabs. It was not muted on Discord. So what I'm going to do is, when Chris and I are talking, I'm going to voice over, my questions to kind of just give a gist of what I asked and what I said. And then you're going to hear Chris fully, just so that you have that information. And in the background, I'm going to have Delta Traveler playing so that, you have something to watch and enjoy while we're here. Because I know that this can be a bit of an ordeal to sit through without it. Hopefully you enjoy. Let me know if you have any criticisms. Let me know what you think about this person. I can't say their name for fear of getting taken down. But you get my point. Anyway, let's jump into it right quick. Here, I basically just said to Chris, hey, it's an honor for you to be here, and thank you for taking the time out of your day to do this.
It's really funny because it's such a departure from my normal content, and I didn't expect it to blow up as much as it did. It was like the strangest phenomenon for me.
I just essentially went over the fact that Chris does make really good content. This was kind of his viral moment here as well. And he, kind of did a departure from this and from his usual stuff. And I made note of that, and his rise to popularity and also spreading awareness through this video was really, really important. But that doesn't mean take away from the content he usually does, because he makes really good stuff.
Again, I'm surprised that it did, and I'm honestly glad that it did. There were so many people that didn't really know about him. I found out that they found out about him through my video, and I'm like, oh my God. I made a change.
Of applause for the work that he put in with this video, as well as the amount of awareness it spread, the impact that it had on the Dragon Ball community and other anime communities in general. Because his video literally did so much to help other people. And something that I pointed out afterwards was, this individual has been around for a long time. Multiple videos have been made about him, and they all end up very similarly.
The amount of videos that are on this said individual Like I'm seeing like videos that are like close to an hour long, above an hour long, and I'm like, oh my goodness, how long? It's like, and I'm thinking to myself, how long has this person been on the internet again? And I realized that like this guy is like probably like a full 10 years older than I am, and I'm like, oh my goodness.
The individual Chris and I are talking about, and mentioned that they moved their YouTube channel from Dragon Ball themed content to My Hero Academia themed content, and if you know, you know.
I did see that, as well as him posting art in the Sonic community as well, which of all the communities that he could join, he picked the worst two, actually the worst three, to cause this kind of stuff in.
Person is so terrible that they get hate comments on Rule 34 all the time.
He actually got himself banned off of Rule 34 too, which I didn't even know you could do that. I thought like only if you were underage, but somehow he found another way.
Well, ridiculous that whole idea is of being banned off of Rule 34, because it's really hard to get banned. But then I also mentioned, I peeped his recent Twitter feeds and saw that he was pro-SA because he supported Anissa's behavior towards Mark in Invincible. And also he went from commissioning artists to using quote-unquote AI art. I mentioned how as somebody with a degree, I don't appreciate that, but also the fact that a lot of the characters that he's commissioning NSFW art of are underage. And so it becomes a multifaceted problem. And, Chris is an artist himself, so he understands that sentiment, and you should check out his work. His work's really good. Side note, he's a great artist. But yeah, that's pretty much the point that I make here.
Like, I think I can remember there was a point where people discovered his like either his DeviantArt or his Pixiv account, realized what was on said account, and then he tried to create a new account to make people think, no, this is mine, and people found out that they were the same person on both accounts, and then he tried to remove the stuff on that first Pixiv account to kind of delete all the evidence. Like, there's so much like dirt on this guy that like I feel like even though my video popped off as much as it did, I didn't even scratch the surface of this person.
A really, really large digital footprint here, and he really does. But the main question that I kind of get into here, because it delves on like Dragon Ball creators interacting with him over the years and having to deal with them across various media outlets, is how long has Chris himself known about him, and has he had to deal with anything prior to this?
Surprisingly, like I know I made a video on him, but like I haven't really truly interacted with the person. I merely heard about him, did my research, and made the video. I like the only only recently, like since my video was removed, that I realized, who could have possibly done that? And it was kind of made obvious because I think one of his alt accounts showed up on my video saying, I did it, your channel's next, talking like an anime villain of all people. I was like, oh, I don't know whether to take you seriously. And then he kept showing up and like saying the most anime villain ass lines, and I'm like, oh, he's not joking. This is him. He talks like a villain, actually.
This happened in real time. As soon as I got the notification that Chris's video was taken down and he had made a community post, the comment section that he's referring to went off. And I do think that, it was the individual who we were talking about. And I kind of make mention that it's not surprising that he talks like a villain just because of his delusions of grandeur and his gigantic ego. He continues to double down.
Right. Every single time people, I can remember I saw like the first time people were hating on him, or like not the first time, sorry, but another time that people were like exposing him and stuff like that. He made a video in response saying, "These haters are just jealous of me," and I'm just like, no, we're not.
Oh, Jack, how could we be jealous of you when all you're doing is digging your own grave?
Like I'm just sitting on my computer. I paused the video and I'm just like, is he serious? Does he? Wow, he actually believes this shit. Wow. Okay.
In Afro Sentai's video, because that's the most recent one I watched, and I was talking about how it was BS that the copyright system is being used in this way. And I said I could maybe see if, it got taken down because of the clip of him talking, but like for Chris, that wasn't even an issue.
Like he gave his own opinion, like it was still transformative.
He's talking about Afro Sentai's video and how even with the clip of this person talking to kind of show who they are, it's still transformative. And this person that we're talking about has never, had a positive thing to say or do since his time on the internet.
All the content creators I've seen throughout my time on YouTube, I believe he's like one of like 2 or 3 content creators that I've seen that I've never seen do anything positive. Like it's just hatred after hatred after hatred. The only thing I've seen him talk positively about is Xenoverse 2 or Jump Force. And even then, now he's starting to turn on those things too. And I'm just sort of like, when will you be happy?
Happy because their own desires cannot be met, and thus they feel the need to take their anger out on everyone and everything around them, no matter if they were originally something that they enjoyed or not.
Right, like all we saw were the graphics, which is a massive improvement. I don't know why he's angry.
3 and how he immediately went to shit on it even though there was only a trailer and it is still in development. We don't even have a demo for this game yet, and this person is already causing so much ruckus over it.
Man wants to talk about, oh, they're getting rid of character creation on the game that's selling point is character creation. Like, does he actually believe the shit that comes out of his mouth?
He does, because there is absolutely no way that he would otherwise.
Like, it's like if he was like even if he was playing a character, I feel like he should have stopped playing that character. The fact that he keeps going, I genuinely believe he's not playing a character. He's just that kind of person, and it's genuinely disgusting on all accounts.
Mention that the Dragon Ball community does not fuck around with that, and they're very, very passionate about their projects, whether that's fan films, whether that's games, whether that's new releases and manga, anime, the works. They've always loved, the media that they're put out on. And when somebody like this comes in, not only shits on everything but what he likes, but also is degenerate enough to be as predatory as he is within said community, and does all of this crazy shit. I can't even really describe everything because we would be here forever. But as far as stealing people's OCs and commissioning NSFW art of them being drawn, minor characters being drawn, being intimate with his character, things like that, and just all around the delusions of grandeur about how Xenoverse 2 is the greatest game ever made, when he doesn't even take time to look at these other games, these other medias. He gets mad about people enjoying, for example, Dragon Ball Z Kai. If you enjoy Kai, cool, right? But as somebody who did grow up with Dragon Ball, is kind of an outside perspective on the community because I'm not deep into it, Shit like this is not okay, and it will continue to lead to him getting flack from the community.
The Dragon Ball community is such a passionate community. The only community that I've seen more passionate than the Dragon Ball community is the Sonic community. Because the Sonic community is the type of community that if they make a bad game, they'll go and fix it themselves and be like, this had potential.
The Sonic community is so passionate because Sega actually supports their fan base. Fan games are often looked at by Sega themselves and appreciated. It is very rare for Sega to send out cease and desist. Fan comics, fan games, animations, it doesn't matter. Because Sega is so supportive of their fan base, they're willing to give back to Sega. And that's why the Sonic community is just as passionate as the Dragon Ball community. And with this person commissioning NSFW art of underage Sonic characters doing things with him, and also forcing his way into already established relationships within the Sonic universe, the Sonic community will not take lightly to that. And he may not have eyes on him now from the Sonic community, but it is very likely that after this video gets released, that there will be plenty of eyes on him. And I just want to say, you do not want this dude in your circle for multiple reasons, including the safety of the minors within the fandom. You want to protect them at all costs, so listen up.
I'm not saying like I'm not saying I'm like a perfect being, or I'm not like trying to like force the idea of like I'm better than you or something like that. I was merely just pointing out the facts that I had and saying, hey, this guy is causing trouble. You should probably avoid him.
About how Chris's video was unjustly terminated once again. We're talking about how his content should not have been affected because of the fact that he was just merely spreading awareness. He wasn't showing bias. He was just giving out the facts.
I tried to go as kind of like the Late Show kind of route, where I'm like, hey, this news is terrible, but I want to at least make you laugh so it'll be more digestible to you guys.
I don't remember everything that was said after Chris said this, but I will say he did a great job with that Late Show vibe. The Haitian sensation that's sweeping the nation goes hard as shit. I'm just gonna be honest. And on top of that, like, just the way he, explained everything was very digestible. It was very funny. His personality really shone through here. The next question that I kind of had here was, what is the current status of his video being taken down? Like, what is the appeal process looking like for him in this current moment? And is there any, updates on getting the video back online?
So, I'll admit this is one of my big mistakes, because when I made the appeal, it was the first time that I ever got a strike based off of like bullying or anything like that. So unfortunately, I didn't think I had to be so detailed with why I didn't break their terms of service, because I was an idiot to think that a real person would review the video. And when I pretty much said the equivalent of I didn't break any terms of service, I was just speaking on information already given, it was shot down immediately. So I've been trying to reach out on Twitter, and even Twitter has me talking to a robot. So now I'm just sort of like, okay, who's a real person I could talk to?
YouTube moderation system that has been infesting our walls since Susan Wojcicki left. Now, mind you, I didn't like her, but the current CEO of YouTube isn't exactly in my best interest, and the fact that smaller creators have such a hard time accessing anybody because we don't have agents like larger creators do, and thus it makes it extremely hard to get to talk to a human in the YouTube platforming space.
I'm trying my best to reach out to larger creators. Like, I tried reaching out to Geekdom 101 because he's had like experience with this person before. Tried reaching out to like Moist Critical, even though I don't know if that one will go too well because man is so much larger than I am. I'm just taking a chance here. But
that Moist Critical covers lolcows a lot of the time, so he would probably be easy to get a hold of.
find out how to reach him. I've tried reaching him out on Twitter, but I think he might have deleted Twitter again for good reason. That's a valid thing about Twitter. But
that most content creators, if they have their business email on their about page for YouTube, are kind of accessible through emailing them if, you know, something is urgent enough that you can get a hold of them. Obviously, they have to have that available for to use. Don't just randomly email someone.
try that actually. Either that or I could try showing up to one of his live streams or something like that. But
Will take requests for a certain amount of bits or gifted subs, especially if they're streaming. It doesn't matter what platform you're on, to be fully honest. You usually can make requests through monetary gain. So that would be a way he could probably get, you know, larger creators to look at it. I did reference a few, including some Dragon Ball creators. I know Devil Artemis, Gamer Goku, Prince Vegeta, things like that. Those types of creators are reactionary. Devil Artemis is not, obviously. He does 3D animations and whatnot and voice acting. But getting that information out there regardless is a good idea. I also mentioned What It Do Dave at Internet City. Shout out to y'all. Because of their presence in anime reaction spaces. Because we need to get the word out there about this person. And honestly, I'm just gonna call you by name. Perfection the Natural Selection, aka Lord Paragon, aka Super Itachi, whatever the fuck you want to be called. I really don't care. But ultimately, this is the person that is causing so much issue. And you need to go watch other videos on it. This is just to get the word out there of his abuse of the copyright system, because he can't handle the fact that people are spreading awareness of his behavior so that he can't talk to children.
like, to be perfectly honest, it sucks because not only like I'm far from the first person that he's bullied. Hell, I heard that a person tried to commit, the way I put it in my video, commit Persona 3 or something along those lines because of right to he caused someone to almost commit to that, as well as like, what was I trying to say here? Like his channel, I found out because multiple people notified me about this in my comment section, that his channel has been deleted multiple times, but he's been kind of like swerving around it, which I'm pretty sure is against terms of service as well. So I don't know how he managed to stay on this platform for so long, because he's breaking practically every rule. And the even crazier than that is that YouTube is supposed to ban creators even if they do this shit outside of YouTube. So the fact that everything has been proven, everything's been documented, everything has been like in the public eye, at least in the Dragon Ball community, and it feels like YouTube just doesn't want to look at it.
Is indeed true. He has a whole Kiwi Farms thread about him all the way back to like multiple years ago, and he has been openly letting his internet footprint stomp all over the mud for the longest. So no matter what, there will always be information continuously documented on his shitty behavior. And YouTube, knowing this, should be taking action, but they refuse to. And that is a major fucking problem for the future of smaller creators. Because if we're not able to spread awareness to this and larger creators just get to be overlooked, what does that say about the monetization policy? Because as far as I remember, you had to obey terms of service to be monetized. is that you have to obey terms of service, and if you're doing shady shit on and off the platform, it should not be overlooked. My next question to Chris was, what is the long-term plan after this event happened? You know, what are we looking to for the future? Are we looking to keep pushing? What are the goals here?
So I'm going to keep trying to notify people of this incident. I'm going to keep trying to reach out to YouTube to get the video reinstated back, because I know they have the power to do that. And pretty much I said in my response video, I want anybody who's watched that response video, or who watched the original video in general, just to share it to everybody. Make sure that this time he does not have a platform, because we've left him alone for way too long. Like, if he's going to be like, if he's like been proven to be a predator for years upon years now, and I pretty much want to make sure that YouTube notices this person, and that this time pretty much pull an EDP, get him off the platform, and refuse any time he tries to return. Because he's had enough chances to be on this platform, and he's squandered every chance that he had. At least that's what I believe.
From this point forward, this concludes the interview. We just kind of chatted it up for a minute. I asked if he had any questions for me. Again, giving him his flowers for the hard work he's put in and how hard this video being taken down impacted him. I recently got a strike from reacting to a video where 5 Minute Crafts was exposed for cybercrimes, and that got taken down. So I definitely feel his pain, but we are really proud of him, and I told him that even if, you know, you can't get larger creators, that the Frenzy Cult here, my community, is more than willing to help. And we have a lot of VTubers and stuff, and he should definitely try to reach out to the VTuber community as a whole, because so many of them are rooted, you know, in the anime spaces as well, you know, obviously. So we want to help to the best of our ability, and that's basically what this interview is for, is basically getting people's eyes on this. If you haven't seen Chris Blue's response video to the original takedown, please go watch it. If you haven't heard about Perfection Natural Selection or Lord Paragon, there are plenty of videos that are still around where you can watch it. But for now, this is probably going to be where I leave it. Thank you guys so much for listening. I hope that this was, you know, somewhat entertaining for you. I'm sorry that I don't have my responses recorded, but I had my mic button muted on Streamlabs, and only Chris himself could hear what I had to say, so I had to kind of go over a gist. But I hope it was still fun to watch regardless. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. See ya!